Am I the asshole for taking my uncle's, my dad's brother, side instead of my mom's in a messy inheritance battle? Update since then, my uncle is suing my mom at court in China over her negligent handling of my dad when his mental health was in rapid decline. Not sure how that'll work since he's in China, but my mom is in the US and an American citizen. He's resorting to the courts to rescind her claim on the inheritance if she has any legally. Background. My grandma passed away in January 2021 and had a house worth around 40 million RMB in Beijing, $6 million USD. She had 5 children, of which 3 are still living. Another one of my aunts has passed away in the 90s and is survived by her son, my older cousin. My dad also passed away about 2 months ago after a 6-year battle with Alzheimer's. My uncle was named the executor of my grandma's estate in her. My family and I live in the US, but all of the other aforementioned relatives are in China. Keep in mind my mom frequently quarreled with my grandma even before I was born, and they were almost never on good terms. Fast forward to January 2021 when my grandma passed away. Since my dad already had advanced Alzheimer's at the time and we were all stuck in the US due to COVID travel restrictions, not to mention US citizens, my mom hired a lawyer in China to represent my dad. It's too complicated to describe in a single post here, but she had a long list of grudges against my uncle, who is the executor of the estate. My uncle sent her a proposal of the final allocation of grandma's estate, and my parents were supposed to receive 20%, which sounded fair since my grandma had 5 children. My mom was enraged that this wasn't enough for all of the trouble she's been through, and she had the lawyer investigate grandma's will, and he said it's invalid. So she refused to give the okay for my uncle to sell the house in Beijing, and without it, he legally cannot sell it. Never mind that it's very difficult to find a buyer for real estate in that price range. I'm not sure what she's doing there, but every time I visit her, she'd go on for hours about how my dad's side of the family has mistreated her. My dad passed away in September and we had to redo all of the paperwork that went into selling the estate, and my uncle had a chance to retract the proposal he wrote earlier. Also, I entered the picture as an inheritor of my grandma's estate since my dad passed. He sent me a very stern letter, since he and my mom weren't on speaking terms anymore, saying that the percentages he proposed previously are no longer valid and he will increase our shares if we cooperate or reduce our shares if we interfere with the selling process. Since he knows how stubborn my mom is, he even mentioned that I'll receive a much larger share than my mom if I choose to cooperate, but she doesn't. And he told me to pass this along to my mom, so I did. I also reached out to the lawyer about my uncle's letter and that he should cooperate in order to make the process smooth and not risk our share being reduced. When I gave my uncle's letter to my mom, she asked if I was willing to cooperate, and I told her I will because I don't want to add any unnecessary difficulties for my uncle. This enraged her and she ended up sending me countless messages expressing her extreme anger at me, and this is where we are now.